my name is Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. Who is Grant Cardone? Who is this myth, the man, the legend? Who is he? Is he the greatest salesman in the world? One of the world's greatest examples of balance between family life, business, and overall humanitarian? I know that when I first heard the name Grant Cardone, I thought it was a cool sounding name, and I thought, yeah, sure, one day I'll pick up one of his books or I'll hear about him, whatever. I thought I had pretty much heard everything there was to know in the personal development circle, having mentors and studied the work of Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, Robert Kiyosaki, Joe Polis, Neil Strauss, just to name a few. Just to name a few. I didn't know if I could really handle one more guy in the menagerie of my role models and mentors. And so one day I would hear him about, in network marketing circles, we would bring him up and say, hey, you got to listen to this book by Grant Cardone, or follow him on Snapchat, Grant Cardone. And I would hear about it from my close friends, hear about him from my close friends and people that, I respected, that I had nothing against. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll follow him. And I did follow him on Snapchat, and cool, like good for him. I'd see him punching some doll every morning, and I'd be like, okay, great. I didn't really get what the whole appeal was. I was just happy for him. Yeah, it seems like a great, successful guy, I thought. And then one day I was on audible.com and I see that there's this Be Obsessed or Be Average book that's going to be released by Grant Cardone. Because I think I had put 10x in my wish list. And so the audible.com recommended that I get Be Obsessed or Be Average. And it had a cool cover, him riding a airplane, and I thought, that's pretty cool, Be Obsessed or Be Average. It sounds cool enough to me. And so before you knew it, I had gotten it maybe a week or two after its release last year. And I'll tell you what, he had me within 5, 10, 15 minutes when he started going into the struggles of his addictions, his drug addictions, how he hated sales originally, but he learned to become great at it, how his father really showed him that success was possible, and he moved their family into the upper class, how he fought his mediocrity and some of the disbeliefs and some of the sabotage coming from his family, thinking, hey, when are you gonna have enough? Isn't this enough? And the more and more that he explained, I kept getting deeper and deeper into his story. And so that's what happened. I started telling people, hey, try this book, listen to this book. And people would start, oh, I kind of get it, I kind of like it. But to this day, I don't know if anyone that's ever gotten the book has actually finished it. And at the end of the book, he says, you know what? Give this book out. Let it be a test. Let it be a way that you know who can handle your level of commitment. Let it be a test. And to this day, no one has really, that I've got the book for sometimes, has come back to me and said, I love the book. Myself, I've gone through the whole book 3 times in its entirety from beginning to end, and listen to it sometimes in the morning when I just know that I need to get in that zone of commitment and fire and focus. Recently, I just bought Cardone University for the Black Friday special, not because everything in my life's figured out, not because I just have money lying around, but because I'm committed to growing and excelling in my life. And I believe fully that Grant Cardone and Cardone University will help me become a professional level business person that is yards and leaps beyond the competition. So 2017, a year or so after getting Be Obsessed or Be Average, 2017 wasn't an easy year for me. There was a lot of stuff that happened in my family. And in spite of that, it's been a great year in network marketing for me. I've been able to hit a new pin level, and it's been the biggest year in sales. And again, what I love about my life, and especially working with people like Cardone University, or that Cardone University, or other people like him, is that it has allowed me to continue pushing the envelope within myself and never resting on yesterday and never thinking that I've arrived, but that I'm blessed to continuously push forward and evolve within, both inwardly and externally. And that has been my biggest victory in life. So today I will be telling you a little bit about the 5 lessons that Grant Cardone, the 5 key cornerstone lessons that I've picked up from Grant Cardone. Now, the man teaches many lessons in professional sales, from prospecting to, marketing, etc., etc. But these 5 here will give you an idea of some of the core tenets that I've picked up in the last year from just Be Obsessed or Be Average and some of the other books that he has and over ideologies. I'm going to give you the 5 here. In the past, we have seen millionaires and very successful people, and even people like Donald Trump, who's our current president, have a certain level of elitist mentality, and for a good reason. What I like about Grant Cardone is his level of humility and sharp perseverance, which I believe is truly a modern business person. Someone that connects with the people they serve and wishes to bring people into their tribe and help them get to the next level. And I believe Grant Cardone does that. He is speaking behind me here in a video. He looks just like that. Great, cool dude. I think when I first saw him in some of his videos, I thought he looked way cooler than I thought. The name Grant Cardone, I thought, I'd see someone less energetic. When I saw this guy and he has full energy and he's so on fire, I was like, damn, this guy's bringing it, right? So he, to me, emulates a modern business person. Now, the first lesson I've learned from Grant Cardone is, as I told you in the book, be obsessed or be average. It's late on a Monday. The Thanksgiving holiday is just over. My sleep schedule's off. And, part of me almost didn't have the energy or the time to make this video. But I said, no, get it done. Get it done because it's important to you. And Cardone is having some cool little YouTube competition. And so I was like, you know what? Let me make sure I get it in. And so, and I forgot one of my cables in my apartment. I was like, oh man, I gotta go get it. And then I went to go get it. And then so it took me a whole hour more, but I said, I gotta get it in. And that came from being obsessed with the result of getting things done and emulating that. The average person, again, be obsessed or be average, would have made an excuse or may have looked at the sideline and said, I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm not gonna get Cardone University because it's so expensive. They don't see like it's expensive, so you better get this so you can get to another level. And so Grant Cardone has helped me understand these things to the next level. Again, the be obsessed or be average. You might have a goal right now. Well, he talks about how you can have a goal to make an extra $1,000 a month, but you really should be having the goal to have an extra $10,000 a month. And that's what you need to do, because that's how you're really gonna get to the next level in your life. If your goal is to get only $1,000, well, you might only make $30 or $40 or $100 extra that month, okay? So that's the problem, is we think too small when you gotta be obsessed with greatness. The second lesson, which I just picked this up in Cardone University, is commit to being a professional salesperson. Retail sales or anything that is sometimes considered a sales job, we sometimes get caught up in the idea that sales is a monotonous, boring job. Grant Cardone is committed and says that the only way to get to the top levels is to commit to being a professional. And if you can commit to that level, that frequency, that understanding, then you have a great chance to fill a gap in the marketplace for a professional career salesperson. Just like there's professional career nurses and doctors and teachers, the professional salesperson is a unique individual that has committed to being at the top of their game, and that only comes from commitment, practice, perseverance, development, understanding the client, the customer, what they need, meeting those needs, giving more than is than the customer pays for. These are the certain things that Grant Cardone teaches. Today, and to me, when I said I'm gonna definitely make this video, was actually this next lesson, which he just taught on Instagram. He just taught it in a minute. He says, I myself wake up sometimes with doubts and anxieties and stuff. He just said that today. He says, and everybody goes through that. And it felt so great to hear someone at his level say that, because I'm sure you watching also experience that. And so he gave a tip. He says, focus on the one thing. Focus on one thing that you can do. On one thing that you can do right. And then the next thing will come and you can go from there. Well, luckily today I had already done more than one right thing. I'd done maybe like 4 to 5 right things, okay? But I said, you know what? Just for that, I'm definitely gonna go make a video to serve people and even to remind myself when I see this tomorrow or the next year or whatever. Sometimes if this man, Grant Cardone, has been at such a high level, he has a plane, a jet plane, and et cetera, nice big cars, big success, and he himself is struggling with anxieties and doubt sometimes. What a relief, isn't it? That some of us, that we can be hard on ourselves, but you gotta just do the one thing. From this video to the writing that letter to the people in your life, to working out, to eating right, do the one thing. The most, it was between these two, which one I'm gonna show you the next. You can go from the bottom to the top. As he says in his book, he was addicted to all kinds of dope, all kinds of drugs. He doesn't go into exactly which drugs he used or how much, but he said he went to rehab and the doctor told him, listen, give up this idea, this grandiose idea of being successful. Just be happy if you stay off the drugs. If you can just manage to stay off the drugs, then that will be good for you. That'll be enough for you, because you'll never amount to anything, they told him. So that was him, and he had hit rock bottom. But then he committed to being a professional salesperson, and just like he tells us to do, and he is now Grant Cardone. You know, this is a 30, 40 year career in the making, right? 30 to 40 years in the making. Yeah, about 30 to 40 years in the making, I believe. And so think about it. He says anyone can do it. He says if I can do it, you can do it. And he hangs out with people that have that attitude. So then if he can do it, he just told you, if I can do it, you can do it. So then if he can do it, I can do it. And if he can do it, you can do it. And so if you just believe that frequency, commit, be obsessed or be average, come on. I mean, isn't it worth it to fight? I love that in the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, like he said, who would buy a book with a man riding an airplane engine? He said, a crazy person. That's who. Welcome to the club, brother. And the most fun, the most cool, the most awesome lesson, he said in Be Obsessed or Be Average, he goes, I'm going to drop the hammer on you. You ready? He goes, I've been waiting 13 chapters or so to drop this hammer on you. Ready? And here's one of the last lessons that I've learned from Grant Cardone so far, which is amazing. It says, quit being a little bitch. You know, in life, people will criticize us. I got criticized this week by someone I used to really care about. You know, and this person criticized me, and it bothered me a little bit, but I said, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, this is some bullshit, right? And so part of me is a little like perplexed, like, why would this person say that? But you know what? At the end of the day, sometimes they really do hate us because they ain't us. That's the truth. And sometimes those criticisms are really their own insecurities and projections that they just don't understand where we're headed or where we're going. And so sometimes you gotta quit being a little bitch and just be true to yourself and play the game with complete commitment and play it hard, okay? And that's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. And if you know anything about life, you know that that type of hard shell, that hard skin is necessary. I'm a yogi. It's not like I don't understand true compassion, sincerity, and love. It's just that sometimes you got to put that away and put on your big boy pants and get in the game and play with all your heart and compassion and quit being a little bitch. You know, it's very common, as Grant Cardone says in his book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, to not even go through a whole book. It's very common to listen to these 5 lessons and think that they're something to be ignored. But, you know, I replay these 5 lessons and review their validity and test them in your life. Are you being too easy on yourself? Maybe being a little bitch about the things that hold you back? Are you not committing enough to your goal? You're holding back a little bit because you don't want to be looked at like some kind of freak. As he says in his training, he says, the problem with the freak on the corner is they didn't commit. They didn't go all the way. He says, when you go all the way and be a super freak, people will ask for your autograph. And maybe that's your problem. Maybe that's my problem, right? And that's definitely the problem I'm looking to resolve. Understand that you can go from the bottom to the top, just like Drake said, just like Cardone said, but you're gonna have to put in the work. This is Jacob Adams. I'd love to hear your comments, your questions on Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone, if you get to see this video, I'd love to go to 10X, the 10X Growth Con. I just got Cardone University. Hope you enjoyed the video, Mr. Cardone, Uncle G. If you did, that's awesome. Share it in your office or whatever it is that you do with these type of videos. And you, the viewer, everything I said here comes from my heart, from my sincere truth. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment below with any questions, any ideas on being obsessed or be average, or being a professional business person, salesperson. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is Jacob Adams. We'll see you next time.